What order are we in tonight?
Oh, I don't know, because I didn't do an outline.
No one ever reads your freaking outlines, Hannah.
Hello, and welcome to Way Too Broad, a place for friends to talk about things that make them sound crazy. I'm Hannah, and these are my co-hosts, Erin and Ben. Hi, Erin.
Hey there, Hannah. Hello, Ben.
Hi, Erin and Ben.
Ben has resorted to saying hello to himself. He's not confident any of us will do it, so he likes to have his bases covered.
Greetings, Benjamin.
Hello, I already fucking said hi.
I'm saying it back to you.
You actually technically also already said hi to him. I guess so.
Yeah,
No, I
I
didn't.
just introduced him. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Don't put words in my mouth. I would never say hello to Benjamin. Okay, so we have, as I was saying before I did the introduction, we have no outline tonight. We're flying by the seat of our pants.
I'm not wearing pants.
Aaron's not wearing pants. It's balls to the wall tonight. But
Carpet to the carpet.
Yeah, I have a story for you guys that I've been just holding in while we were like getting set up, as you know, because I kept on saying it.
I'm holding it. Like, do you want to take care of that before we start recording?
So,
What happened to you?
Earlier today, just after work, I wanted to take a call, and I didn't want to be disturbed, so I went to this secret place that
They will not reveal the location.
I
That's
won't,
so
because
sinister.
somebody might listen to this that I work with, and I don't want them to know about my secret
Keep it
place.
secret.
But I went to this
Keep
secret
it safe.
place. Yeah. I went to my secret place near the office.
TMI.
And I took this call in my car, and then I went to start the car to head home, and it did not start.
Oh no.
And I was shocked because this literally happened to me a week or two ago.
I would feel like
In
I
the
would
same
be
scenario.
not shocked if it like just happened to me with the same car.
Yeah, for real.
No, but it's not the car's fault. It's my fault because because the first time I had left the car running for a while, and then I had shut it off while I was still on the phone, but I had left it like half on in that extremely vulnerable state where it's just like draining battery constantly. And then I still managed to start it and get it to the grocery store and didn't realize anything was wrong. And then it wouldn't start at the grocery store, but later on it started on its own. But this time, that's all very boring. But this time what happened was it wouldn't start at all. So I was like, shit, let me call AAA. So I pulled out my AAA card, and it said it expired in December of 2016, but I wasn't sure if maybe I just hadn't gotten the new card, because like Ben and me and our brother Luke, we all have AAA cards that our parents like pay for, just in case. So I figured, of course, it would be fine. But I looked it up, and no, the whole thing is canceled. So I called my husband, Ian, first I called my dad to see if he had just taken me off the plan. And he said no, that he thought it renewed automatically. So if mine was canceled, everybody was canceled. And I was like, okay.
Oh my god.
Even if it hadn't been canceled, they would have been like, okay, where are you? And you're like, my secret place. And they're like, ma'am, we need the address. And you're like, you'll never have that address. I'll never give it to you.
That's true. It actually became a problem later when more so. Hang on. This is my text chain with my parents. In all caps, did you guys cancel AAA? And then my mom texted back, maybe? Why? And then I wrote back, why would I ask that? With 4 question marks.
Why would I know that? Also, like, yelling the phrase, did you cancel AAA? Really only the part, like, did you cancel is in caps lock, because AAA is always in caps lock anyway. So it's kind of like
true.
takes some of the oomph
So
off.
it's like, did you cancel AAA?
That's a very important point. How do you yell acronyms in text?
You don't. Maybe
Wow,
you
what a
surround
question.
them with exclamation points.
Oh,
Like, the
that's
more, the better.
good. Like, at the beginning, you put, like, the upside-down ones.
Yeah.
Are those a thing in Spanish,
That's the thing
too?
in Spanish.
Those are a thing
Two?
in Spanish.
I took
Yeah,
French.
what else? No, they're not in French.
Question marks. No.
No, neither of those things are in French. Those are only in Spanish.
No.
Killing it.
I knew the question marks were a thing. I didn't know if the exclamation points were a thing. Was the problem.
I see.
But
Oh,
there's
I got
more.
you.
There's more to this story, which is that my husband then pulled out his AAA card.
Your husband,
and,
Ian.
Yes, and discovered
Not
that
then.
it expired.
Oh, I thought you
my
said Ben.
husband. No, my
I was
husband
like, that's
Ian.
weird that you just glossed over that and didn't
My
correct yourself.
husband Ian then pulled out his AAA card, and it expired in September.
Wow.
So
Oh god, it's the 5th of October.
yeah, so nobody in my life has AAA at all. So then I was like, oh, well, I know somebody who just moved to the town that I live in who also works with me. So whether he's at work or at home, he probably has a car close by. So I texted him, and because nothing is worth a call.
These days.
And he wrote back that he would come help me, but his car just died this week also.
What?
Wow.
And is in the shop, so he doesn't have a car or jumper cables to help
Oh
me.
my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so Ian valiantly drove the 40 minutes from our house to where I work to jump my car. But
Jesus.
and then he gets there and we're like opening up our hoods and he's like, you know, just so you know, like my car is not doing great either. And I was like, wow, that's encouraging. Are you telling me this is not gonna work?
Then why'd you bring it? Like, just phone a friend, okay? Be like, I will come get you, but we should stop and get another person's car first.
You should
Also,
buy a new car on the way.
just so you know, like, don't you know that? Like, you're married. He probably has mentioned it to you. Like,
Yeah.
Well, is he still
definitely
using
has.
that white car?
Yeah, he is. It's
That
in
car
bad shape.
has been in bad shape since I was using it like 3 summers ago.
He needs a new car.
Don't we all?
Yeah. But yeah, so the bright side of that story is that I did learn how to move a car when it won't start. And I did the pushing of the car. We put it in neutral, and then I like pushed it across a bunch of parking spaces. And I felt like a superhero. So that was cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So I didn't get home till like 20 minutes before we started recording.
dang.
Wow.
Y'all,
Well,
I
I'm
just...
glad your car is fine now.
Me too.
Thank you.
I just realized I'm recording through my freaking computer microphone, which is probably why it sounds so tinny. I'm talking to you through this microphone,
Holy shit!
but I'm recording this
Mystery
fucking
solved.
episode through the other one. Alright. Now we should be good. You didn't give the intro.
Yeah, I did.
Way back.
We always like to say that you have to be passionate about what you're talking about.
It's the second time you've forgotten that.
There's only one rule on Way Too Broad. And that rule is you have to be
Hannah.
excited or very angry about the thing that you're talking about. But usually
Hannah.
excited.
Did you say it?
The rule is that Hannah needs to forget it. Get that part.
Hang on, I'm looking to see what segment we want to do.
Did you say very angry because you're angry about your thing this week? Or is that just... That's
No.
just a new edition?
I was angry about my car.
Oh,
That's all.
okay. Alright. I got you.
We could do...
Do you have any Ianisms?
Terminology.
Ian expression? Terminology.
Yes, I do. There's one that he just came up with yesterday that I really want to make into something that we say all the time. He actually didn't come up with it at all. He said a thing and I misheard him, and I liked the thing that I misheard better. So he was saying that he was at a museum gift shop, but we were in a really loud restaurant, and to me it sounded like he said he went to the gift shop. And I was like, did you just say that? And he was like, yeah, you know, the place where they sell gifts. Like, he like rolled right into it. It was really good. So I'm going to try to remember to call them Gip Gops from now on.
I like to ship shop at the Gip Gop.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's start a chain. Let's close this podcast and start a restaurant chain. I'm sorry. This is your snack.
A restaurant
If we ever
chain.
make a website for merch for this show, it'll be a Gip Gop.
The Way Too Broad
Yeah.
Gip Gop. Mm-hmm. Where you can gop a gip for your friends.
It sounds like cop a feel.
And we'll ship it to you.
Okay, well, we could probably go to Ben's first thing. Ben's thing.
Okay. My obsession this week has been it's a Netflix original show that I've been binge watched all of this week with Kylie. There's only 10 episodes of it so far. It's an animated show called Big Mouth. It's a show that's created by Nick Kroll and his childhood friend Andrew Goldberg, and it's really, really, really good. It's a show about puberty and prepubescent teens going through puberty, but it's really nice in that I feel like a lot of media or shows or movies that focus on that period of people's life tend to focus on boys masturbating for the first time or whatever, or discovering sexuality, and don't really talk about girls at all. But with this show, there's the second episode is about a girl getting her period for the first time, and then there's an episode that's called Girls Get Horny Too. And so it's
what kind of show is this?
It's really
It's a show about
really
puberty.
crass.
I watched the first episode
It's really,
of it.
really crass and gross, but it's also really, really funny. And the cast is crazy good. The two main characters are voiced by Nick Kroll and John Mulaney.
Okay, it is John Mulaney, because I was going to ask you.
Yeah, and Jason Mantzoukas is another main character. There's a hormone monster and a hormone monstrous that whenever the kids get start having puberty things, they show up and talk to them. And the hormone monster is also played by Nick Kroll, and then the hormone monstrous is Maya Rudolph, and she's so fucking funny.
Who's Nick Kroll again? What's he been in?
His most famous thing was The League, which is it was a show on FX, I think, about
He was in Cavemen.
He was in Cavemen, yeah. What else? He had a show. He had the Nick Kroll show on Comedy Central.
Yeah, Kroll show on Comedy Central.
I can't.
Did he have the Nick Kroll show on Comedy Central?
Yeah, he did actually have the Nick Kroll show on Comedy Central.
Oh. But I didn't see that. I don't know what that is.
But what was his show called?
I can't.
Was his show on Fox?
What's his name again?
He's
funny.
Really funny.
He's
I don't really know what else he's been in. I know he was on Comedy. He and Jason Mantzoukas were on Comedy Bang Bang this week, recording it or promoting Big Mouth. And apparently, most of the content of Big Mouth is based on actual childhood stories from Nick Kroll and Andrew Goldberg's childhood, including the second episode where a girl gets her period for the first time in the Statue of Liberty.
Oh my!
It's
a lot of what Nick Kroll does is characters,
Yeah.
So that's part of why it's hard to remember or describe what he's been in, because he doesn't actually play himself that much, or even. I guess a lot of actors do is characters. Now that I'm thinking about it,
he voices a million characters in the show, also very different people, and it's
Okay.
They do like breaking the fourth wall a lot.
Been in thing.
Oh, you know his face. She looked him
You
up.
recognize his face.
I recognize
Yeah.
his face. Oh, he was in the Nick Kroll show on Comedy Central.
Dang, we should have started
That's
with
what
that.
I know him from.
They do like
That's a good obsession, Ben. I'm glad to hear that the series
Yeah,
is
it
good
is.
because
it's really good.
I watched the first episode and like I liked it, but I wasn't like I felt like it could still go
Yeah,
either way.
definitely. I felt like that first episode too, but after like the second's really good, and then like it just gets better from there on, and like especially because they do a lot of like really funny running gags. Like one of the things is that like whenever the character Jay, who's played by Jason Mantzoukas, says something like really gross or disrespectful about women, they go like, Jay, stop quoting your dad's law commercials. Because his dad's like a shitty divorce defense lawyer or something. It's fucking hilarious. And they do callbacks often, and then also like break the fourth wall with stuff. It's really, really good.
I didn't get that sick burn.
I didn't get it.
It's not a burn.
We were like, okay.
It's like, I'm sure it's fine in
It is.
context.
It's much.
Something like, stop quoting our president would be.
Yeah.
But it takes place in the
Such.
past.
Oh.
Well, not necessarily. Doesn't really.
No?
I don't think so. I didn't get any sense that it was like from the 80s or the 90s, set in the 80s or 90s. It's pretty modern.
Well, I'll watch it.
Yeah, it's very.
You
fun.
guys are changing my media intake habits for sure. I listened to a ton of In the Heights this week.
In the Heights. I was listening to it today.
Same.
I wanted to listen to it while I was waiting for Ian to show up, but I couldn't because my phone was dying and my car was dead.
Oh God.
You're about to be trapped in your secret place.
I was trapped in my secret place. My
With
secret
no way to
place
listen
turned
to
dark,
music.
figuratively and literally.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, but it's so good. There's a line that I was like texting Ben about at the end where he quotes from It's a Wonderful Life, which is my favorite movie in the whole world.
Yeah, it's so good.
I didn't know that about you. I thought The Fifth Element was your favorite movie.
I
Really?
like The Fifth Element a lot. It's a good movie.
But is it like close to your favorite? I hadn't even I never really associated that movie with you that much for some reason.
Maybe I just know that you liked it.
Well, there was like one Thanksgiving where we watched it a bunch.
Lot. Yeah.
But it's still one of my like comfort food movies, and like especially with Ian, because Ian like generally I'm like a comedy as comfort food person and he's a sci-fi as comfort food person. So The Fifth Element, like since it kind of crosses those genres, is a nice thing for us to watch together.
I really like the way that you said that, like the comfort food movie. That's such a good way to describe something that I experience. I have a comfort food movie. It's like the movie that I watch when I'm like having a bachelor night, when my wife's at like not home, and I just like feel happy watching it. And that movie is Kissing Jessica Stein.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
I love that fucking movie. It has jazz in it as almost the entire soundtrack. I love every single part of that movie. I like know it by heart. I like love everything about it.
Oh, speaking of jazz, I meant to tell you. You know how you sent me that sorry, my throat just died.
It's like you were scatting.
Were you scatting there? What was going on?
It's clearing my throat. You know how you
thanks for
sent me
clarifying.
that Duke Ellington song?
Yeah, I sent, to recap our listeners, I just sent Ben Take the A Train by, it was Duke Ellington, but it was Ella Fitzgerald's recording.
Yeah. One of the characters in Big Mouth is Duke Ellington's ghost. Because apparently like the story is that he died in the house of one of the main characters, and so like he just goes up to his attic and talks to Duke Ellington's ghost sometimes. And that guy's played by Jordan Peele.
Oh, sorry.
Duke Ellington's ghost played by Jordan Peele.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I sent Ben that song because there's a line in The Heights that
just take the A train.
You must take the A Train.
You must take the A train. I can fix it in post. I can fix it in post.
Did you think the lyric was "You just take the A Train"?
Yeah.
You
just take the A train.
Yeah, because he's explaining how to get to the heights.
Fair enough.
I see.
Even farther than
To
how.
Northern
Yeah.
Manhattan and
You
maintain.
must take the even farther than Holland and know the Manhattan and maintain. I love that song.
I like it when he says, "I hope you're writing this down. I'm going to testulate it." That's
Yeah, I like that too.
rhyming with escalator. He's a genius.
He's a genius. He's a fucking genius. I just love him. I love him. I feel like our obsessions, the like weekly obsession show, is just like us continuing to be obsessed about the same things, though, like running themes.
It's okay. You know, it is what it is. And if there becomes like a constant theme, if we always talk about Lin-Manuel, then we can transition to a Lin-Manuel Miranda podcast. And
Another person that we always talk about is I just bought fucking Tig Notaro tickets.
Oh yeah,
for December.
It's exciting.
Front row seat's gonna look up her nose. Tig, if you're listening,
So
bring a tissue.
And you know she's listening.
Erin, this is what you should do. Every day from now until the show, you should tweet at Tig Notaro, "Hi Tig, I can't wait to look up your nose."
God.
And like eventually she'll have to
Hi
notice
Tig.
you.
I should be like, "Hi Tig, I just have to tell you. I can't wait to look up your nose." So this show got announced, and there was a pre-sale going on yesterday and today, and it did not have the pre-sale code, and so I scoured the internet looking for it. I can't believe what it was, because I like guessed everything up into that. But then I tweeted at the venue, and I was like, "Can I have the pre-sale code?" And they tweeted me back, and they gave me the pre-sale code.
Nice.
Oh, that's good.
I was like, "That's so simple."
Tweet her.
It's so good.
I like tweet her.
I thought of that because I tweeted Tig too, asking her for the code. Not that she would have it or care.
But she
But-
didn't
Is
answer
she on
you.
Twitter?
Oh, I didn't expect her to. I expected the venue to, and they did.
Great job. Venue. What's
Thanks,
the venue?
Ben. Thanks, Ben. Ben, not Ben. Did you think anything that rhymes with Ben is your name?
You're so vain. You probably think this N is about you. I just rolled my eyes at my own stupid joke.
I did. I love that. I thought it was like a sassy, like, ugh, he thinks it's about him.
Thank you. Oh, okay, so should I do... I think I'm next, right?
Yes.
Yeah, roll on into it.
Alright, so
Sorry about that.
mine is silly, but I was just thinking about how much joy it brought me this week. I found this new game for my phone.
Oh God.
It's called Picross Mon. The name is dumb, but I got kind of sucked in by the graphics, which I'll show you
We'll show the
guys.
listeners.
I'll show the co-hosts.
We're gonna make a series of sounds that represent the
Oh.
graphic.
Wow, that's actually a pretty good way to
Wow.
represent those graphics.
It's
verbally.
kind of like spooky, like I don't know, like a hand drawn.
Yeah, it's like it's squiggly and like sketchish. But the actual game is I don't know what the technical name is for this type of thing, but it's like it's kind of like Sudoku but for pictures. Like
a nonogram puzzle.
So like a what?
Nonogram puzzle. That's what they call it on the app. On the
Oh,
Google
that's
Play.
it. Like this nonogram.
Sure. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
9x9
it's-
nonogram. I think that's what it is.
Well, they're not 9x9. Usually,
Fuck.
so basically, what the actual puzzle is. So let me start by saying, just in general, and throughout my entire life, and probably until I die, I love puzzle games. I really do not like to be sitting on the couch doing nothing when I'm watching TV, but I don't like to have something that's like very intensive and like attention consuming, because Ian gets really mad if he has to describe to me what's on the television. So
Oh, that's so
Kylie
weird.
also gets
Normally,
mad.
everybody's fine with that. Everybody's usually pretty chill about describing to somebody who was literally sitting there what just happened on the television. What a dick.
I don't know. I I just can't give it my whole attention, and it's a constant struggle in our household.
Dad really annoys me with that, because he'll, like, sit there and just play Bejeweled, like, while he's watching it. Like, he'll take the TV to watch a show that, like, he wants to watch, and then he'll just sit there and play Bejeweled while he's watching it and, like, hardly look at the screen. It's infuriating. Yeah. Although I must say I also sometimes do that watching TV, and Kylie gets mad at me as well.
I mean, I don't do that unless I'm, like, putting something on that I, like, want Molly to watch. Like, last night, have you guys seen The Chef's Table on Netflix?
I've seen, like, one or two of the episodes of it.
It's so good, and this first episode I just love, but the guy speaks in Italian, and it's subtitled, so I, like, keep looking over at Molly, who's, like, on her phone, and she'll, like, look at me, and then, like, look at the TV, it's like, are you watching this? Like, it doesn't matter, like, that's her leisure time, she can spend it how she wants, but only occasionally I'll get, like, uppity about it.
Well, like, I can be bad about, like, I can. I'm not saying that I'm, like, perfect. I'm not the perfect wife, okay? Like, sometimes. But, I want to be doing something, so it's like, I can either be scrolling through Twitter and, like, genuinely distracted from what I'm watching, or I can be doing a puzzle game where I can look up sometimes. There's just no other option for me. I've passed the point of no return with television. I don't know.
Well, reading, I find I can't, like, watch something and read because I'll, like, tune out what I'm listening to if I'm reading.
I can't do anything and read at the same time. Some people can, like, listen to music and read, but I feel like I pay too much attention to music.
I can eat and read at the same time pretty well.
Yeah,
I can jog and read at the same time.
Oh, nice.
Wait, for real?
Mm.
I can't jog.
Yeah,
at all.
That should have been your first clue, Ben. Do you remember how I said running was not an option? Like,
right.
Last week. No.
I believed in you, Hannah. I believed in you just then. I just want you to know.
But that's my general love of puzzles. But the reason that I love this game is that I love this particular type of puzzle, which maybe is called a nonogram. I don't know. But it's a grid, and they usually, like, in 5x5 squares, so it can be, like, you know, it could be like a 5x5 or a 10x10 or a 15x15 or whatever, but it usually goes in increments of 5 because it makes it kind of easier to do. And you have, like, chunks of sort of filled in squares that you're trying to locate where they are. So, for instance, like, if a strip is, if like I don't know how to explain this without being really boring, but, like, if there's like a strip that says 15 and it's, like, on the top, then you know that entire row would be filled if there's only 15 squares, you know, so you can fill that one in right away. And then you kind of have to, like, work it out, like, logic wise, similar to the way that you do a Sudoku puzzle. It's kind of like it does the same thing with your brain, where you're trying to be like, okay, well, if this is true, then this can't be true, and if this is not true, then this can be so it's got to be this, like that kind of thing. But it's like with filling in squares instead of sequential numbers or whatever. But when I do these things on paper, a lot of times they get really big, and you have to fill them in by hand. Like, you have to have a marker or something, and you have to be pretty, like, specific with it, because otherwise you'll get, like, outside of the boxes and you won't make the picture correctly, because what happens at the end, if you figure it all out, is that you have a picture of something.
Oh,
and
cool.
So they can get really big, and, like, so they end up just looking like, you know, like pixel art, basically. But when I do them, like, by hand, like, when I had, like, a book of them, and it would hurt my hand a lot by the time that I'd done a few of them. Like, it just was, like, a lot of, like, very specific drawing, and, like, I do not have good hand-eye coordination at all.
I just want, like, a lot of very specific drawing as, like, a sound bait.
I can't be general as I want with my drawing. But then when I've had other apps that did this before, they've been really clunky, and they were always in black and white, and they, like, the pictures were always in black and white, and they still were, like, really hard to manage. Like, you had to zoom in and, like, tap things and whatever. And this one, it just, like, you can, like, slide, and it, like, fills in a whole row. You probably can't see that, but
nope.
But, like,
the listeners definitely
it feels good. It just, like, it's easy to fill in, and the pictures are in color. Like, it has the blocks all colored in. So when you finish it, you have like actually a really cool looking thing, and like it feels right and makes it so easy and good, and I really appreciate it. And I know it's a silly thing. And then the other thing is,
I love the tone you have right now.
Me too.
You're so defensive, and we're not trying to say what you like is stupid at all. Like,
It's like you're like OCD. You're like, feels good. It just feels good. I know I shouldn't put my nose on the light switch, but it feels good.
I'm just saying it's a well-made game. Is all I'm
and
saying.
we believe
they
you.
did
We're
a good
not
job.
trying to
Saying
say
so
it's
much
not.
more. We are excited to play it. It's okay. You're safe with us.
But the other thing that I want to tell you about in this game before I finish talking about it is that it has another thing besides just making pictures where you're making like stories. So it's the same type of game. You're still like just doing the game things, but once you finish one, it creates this story. And I think this game was made maybe in like Japan or China, probably Japan, because the stories are like not perfectly translated, and also sometimes you make monsters and they also have silly names, so that's another thing that's been kind of surprising and delighting me. Like, here are the names of some of the monsters that I've created pictures of: Roundy Monster, Jelly Monster, Pill Monster, which just is shaped like a pill. It's not like, I'm so excited, I'm so scared. Like, no.
Is this some sort of like political statement about birth control or something?
Flat Monster, P-Boy Monster.
Oh.
Softy Monster, Half Monster, Bigfoot Monster. He's just at Bigfoot. 10x10 Village Market Monster. Monster with bangs. Smallest Monster, who's actually really cute. A little monster with 3 big feet.
Is the little monster bigger than the smallest monster?
No, obviously not, Erin. Why
Smallest
would you ask
monster.
something
Stupid
like
question.
that? And I'm going to read you the first story real quick, because it's very quick. So I made pictures that illustrate all these things, but I'm not going to show you those. Okay. A village of the horned monsters. A black monster kid is cowering. He is treated with disrespect by the other monsters in the village.
Did it say disrespect, or did you just lisp there?
I just lisped.
Just checking.
Monster kids
checking.
Yeah. Monster kids in the village bully this little black monster. And at this point I was like, is this a statement on race relations in America? I need to know now. So I read ahead. Spoiler, it's not. He runs away. He is surrounded by the village kids. An uncle passing by protects him from the other monsters. An uncle treats his wounds. The little monster receives a doll as a gift. The villagers are coming after them. The little monster and the uncle run away together.
Is this a statement on gender identity?
No, listen. The little monster and the uncle run away together. They hide in an empty house outside the village. They settle down in the empty house. And now I'm like, what do you mean, settle down? But he watches the uncle's family picture.
All right.
That sounds sketch.
This is the last one. I'll be back. That's the end.
That sounds really delightful.
I think that sounds like it was translated from Japanese, because I think there's like a word they use that like technically means uncle, but you call it just like kind of any male that's older than you, sort of.
Okay. Yeah, it probably was.
I tried to.
I think it also.
Sorry. I tried to look
I think
this
it also
up.
sounds.
Fuck. You go first.
You don't usually apologize and then keep going. I don't know.
That's true.
I was saying it sounds like it could be translated from Japanese or generated by a computer.
That's true.
Just like, outright. Sorry. Now you go, Ben.
I looked up this studio, Game Fox, that makes it to try and figure it out, and all I found is that their slogan is "For a good game."
It's true. They're right.
That's so
They're
great.
living up to it.
What's the name of the game called?
It's called Picross Mon, like Picross, and then Mon for some reason. Maybe Monster.
So they were trying
I
to
think
do
it's
like
supposed to be Monster.
Pokemon or something. Maybe they were trying to
Yeah, probably. But it's nothing,
ride that Pokemon wave.
Straight to the bank, baby.
For a good game.
That's mine. I just like that game.
That was a delay.
Okay, I just like it.
Right.
No K, Hannah.
No K.
This feels good. Just feels good.
Erin, what's your obsession this week?
All right, so this week, 'tis the season, everybody. We are approaching. We're a good ways off, but we're approaching the Halloween time. Now, I am a person who is very scared of a lot of things. Not practical life things like spiders or snakes. Oh no. But the paranormal.
Can't wait to hear where this is going.
The paranormal.
Did you write yourself a script? What's going on?
I didn't. Despite being a person afraid of the paranormal, every year, I enjoy scary ear snacks.
Oh.
So my thing this week is that, okay, do you guys listen to the ear snap judgment?
Uh-uh.
No? Wait, Ben?
No.
No, okay.
Wait, did
Okay.
I hear
I heard a so I didn't know if that was a nuh-uh or an uh-huh. Since I can't see Ben's head.
Yeah, because of his computer.
Yeah. So anyway, Snap Judgment is a storytelling podcast, storytelling with a beat, which is an entertaining podcast. But every year at Halloween, they put out these Spooked episodes, which are so scary. So they're like storytelling podcasts. So their normal thing are storytelling, and they're like, I presume, real life stories. And then in the Halloween season, they're the same type of stories in the same format, but they're like scary. And this year they put out a whole new podcast just for these types of episodes for the whole month of October. And now
Erin, you look so scared already.
they even started in September, and they are, now that we're in October, are putting out like 2 a week leading up to Halloween. So the thing about these podcasts, so I am somebody who like gets a lot of nightmares, usually in general, so I don't like to watch scary movies. If I watch a scary movie, it has to be more like a thriller and less like a ghosty movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So
I'm
the
actually the opposite of that.
Oh, really? The thing with these movies, or ear snacks, they're not movies at all. The thing with these podcasts, that some of them are like, oh, that's weird, and I could probably rationalize what happened to myself and explain it with science. But some of them they're storytelling, so they like are a person who sometimes feel very credible. Like one of them that was particularly scary was like a professor at a prestigious university that I don't remember which one, and he was just telling his story, and I'm like, he would have no reason to lie to me. And he tells this story about like a ghost encounter, like a ghost living in his house, that is like, I don't know, it's basically like, it puts me in a position where I either have to believe that this person who would have no business lying to me is lying to me, or that ghosts are real, and I can't really do either. So I kind of like, it's really interesting. What I'm saying is, it's interesting that I would listen to this type of thing because I'm like so affected by it. But I like love them. They're so spooky. Anyway, the podcast is Spooked.
That must be where they got the name from.
2 a week. I just listened to 2 really scary ones on the way here. I was like almost too afraid to get out of my car once I got to my house. One I don't remember what either of them were called. So if you're listening to this on a Sunday, it's like the ones from last week.
Yeah. The most recent one is called A Friend in the Forest.
Oh, that one is good! And the one before that, The Shadow Friend or something like that.
Hang on,
Right,
let me
I
see.
have a question.
I'm not done that one
related
yet.
To this.
The Shadow Men.
Do you
Shadow
either
Men.
of you
What's
believe
your
in ghosts?
cue? That's what I was gonna ask.
I have so much to say about this.
Please say it.
I will just get this out of the way. I, for my own sanity, can't believe in ghosts.
For your own sanity?
I don't know why that was so funny to me.
I believe in jerks.
You call me out, you get called out, Erin.
That's true.
How this goes.
True.
Okay. I'm like a Mulder. Like, I want to believe. I kind of feel like the human, like, brain and body and sensory system was, like, only evolved to, like, perceive a certain range of sounds and noises and, like, things in the world. And so, like, I'm fully on board and I think it's only rational, if you believe that, to believe that there are lots of things happening around us that we're just not built to perceive. So in that sense, I don't think that the paranormal is really, like, outside of the realm of possibility at all. Mm-hmm. But the thing I want to talk about is that lately I've actually been watching a bunch of this new show that just, well, it's not new, but this show that just turned up on Netflix called, like, Paranormal Survivor or something like that. It's a ghost story show. Where, and it's kind of what, like, the old style where they do the silly, like, reenactments of the stuff people are talking about. But I've been watching it, like, just kind of, like, when I wanted something on, but I didn't want to, like, pay that much attention to it. And Ian's usually around too, and he has been, like, the like, biggest scoffer. Like, as soon as it comes on and, like, one person says something about whatever, he's like, ugh, yeah, right. And then he like, you know, they'll say, like, and then I felt this chill, and then I heard, you know, something that sounded like a kid's footsteps running upstairs or something like that, and he'll be like, yeah, they just said it was an old house, it's the heating system, of course it's the heating system. And, like, he's like, so what I find interesting about it is that I've never known him to have any strong opinions about this kind of stuff at all. Like, I've never heard him, like, have a conversation about the paranormal with anybody. I've never really heard him express an opinion about it, but he obviously, like, just had his mind made up and isn't that interested in talking about it. And, like, I just never knew that about him. We've been together for 5 years.
Do you think that it's because he's, like, afraid of, like, for me, I, like, have to believe there's science that's causing people to think that they're experiencing these things, because the alternative is too frightening. It's, like, too deeply unsettling, and I don't think I can live in a world where, like, ghosts are real and can fuck with you. Like, I can't.
I can definitely speak
So I
to
wonder
that.
if, like, that's where he's coming from.
I think
Maybe.
he's probably coming... I feel like he's probably coming from where I am, which is that I don't believe in ghosts at all because they don't make sense. Like, there's no
Listen to this
scientific
fucking
reason for them
podcast.
to...
Listen to this fucking podcast, because you're like,
I
either
want to listen to it.
these people are blatantly fibbing, they're, like, creating this fabrication and recording a podcast about it, or there's some shit that you can't explain. Because some of it's like, okay, but some of it's like, okay.
I will say, I feel like whether you believe in ghosts or not, we can all kind of agree that the, like, ghost hunting pseudoscience part of, like, culture is really dumb.
Dumb. I agree with that. I guess, what I'm more afraid of than ghosts is zombies. I'm a lot afraid of zombies.
Yeah.
Are you afraid of zombies?
No, because, like, that's not gonna happen. Like,
Yeah.
like, no one has a zombie encounter story.
That's what you think.
But
You
if
know,
But once the first one
happens-
surfaces, that's gonna be real fucking scary.
But that's like,
It's a big what if.
yeah.
No, I totally agree.
I
I'm
just,
not scared of zombies.
there's like
either.
nothing that would make me feel like I need to be worried about
Yeah.
that.
I have two outstanding and recurring fears, and they both involve zombies. One of them is when I go outside to take the trash out at night or something. Like if I go outside on my very quiet street, and then I go back inside. I always run back inside because like there are bushes around and all kinds of corners where zombies could shamble up. And
What about like a real life person who wants to hurt you? Like that's
yeah,
more
I
likely
know
to
that. I
happen.
know that's the thing I should be worried about, but it's not, Erin. Like I can't.
Well,
explain
honestly,
to
I
you.
mean, net result, you're running in quicker to be safer anyway, so it doesn't really matter what you're scared of, I guess.
You're afraid of the wrong
Yeah,
thing,
but
Hannah.
it is zombies, though. I'm telling you what it is, and it's zombies.
You know, I will say...
You're like yelling as you're running. I'm not running away from a man. I'm running away from a zombie. Just let it be known. Not afraid of a man, afraid of a zombie.
I will say as
To
much
whom
as,
it may
like,
concern.
as much as I'm totally not scared of, like, a zombie apocalypse actually happening, every time I'm, like, driving, if it's, like, late at night or something, or if it's not late at night, it's, like, dark, and I'm on, like, a road and I haven't seen another car or another person for a long time, I, like, think about what if the zombie apocalypse had started while I was on this drive. And think
Me
about
too,
Do
that,
you
and
watch
that's-
like that zombie show?
what, The
Huh?
Walking Dead? No, I
Do
don't
you watch that? Yeah, do you guys watch that show?
No.
I have watched it before. I'm not caught up on it, but that's the other one I was gonna say. There's this one stretch of road between my house and Plymouth, and it's completely devoid of like houses and people, and often there are no other cars, and there's like the woods come right up to it, and every time I drive it, Ian and I call it Zombie Road because every time I drive it, all I can think about is what if 28 days later a zombie came running out of the woods and slammed into my car.
You
That's
would hit it.
literally-
You would run it over with your car. I mean, I don't really know. Like you would kill. You would like run it over, and you would keep going.
But it doesn't matter, Erin, because if there's one, then there's millions within the next few days.
That's really
like
funny. I'm
termites.
not discounting your fear. I just think it's really funny because it's like it doesn't exist. It like literally doesn't exist. Like with ghosts, you're like, we're pretty sure that's not a thing, but we're like not sure it's not a thing. But with zombies, we're like positive, 100% verification that there are no zombies.
Yeah, and yet I have such an easier time watching ghost movies and
Have
zombie
you guys
movies.
ever heard of or played the game The Last
That's really
of Us?
interesting.
Yes. I watched you play it.
Oh, yeah, I think you probably watched the part of it, yeah.
Twist.
Oh, yeah, zombie games are the...
Yeah.
Yes, Ben has...
Well,
yeah,
and the thing about The
yeah.
Last of Us is that's particularly scary is that, first of all, it's an amazing game. Everyone should play it. It's like a really beautiful story embedded in a zombie game. But it's... The really scary thing is, like, kind of how believable the story is of, like, how zombies started. Because it's like a... It's a parasite. It's like a... I think it's a fungus, actually, that like, takes over... That like starts growing in people's brains and takes over their bodies and like makes them ravenous. And then like as they get more developed, they like their whole head starts to get taken over by the fungus.
Yeah.
So like that's scary, and that's a
a
non-traditional zombie because they're not like coming back from the dead, but it's like just as scary and more realistic.
It could happen. It could happen to us, Erin.
Can I ask a Q?
Yeah.
I'm gonna not wait for permission. So, the thought to you, Hannah/Ben, of like a person dying and then being possessed and like coming back from the dead versus a zombie, what's more scary and why?
Possessed by what?
Evil spirits?
Zombie.
Why?
Because
What?
the first thing you described definitely cannot happen, but the second thing, it's not happening now. But like I said, the Last of Us scenario is not. It's not insanely
exactly
far-fetched.
your same logic, Erin. That's why.
Okay, what is it about the zombie that scares you? Is it the possibility, or is it something about a zombie that you find particularly scary?
It's the civilization being entirely devastated by. It's like I guess I'm scared of pandemics. I don't know.
Here's my thing about zombies is that like I could potentially like fight off a zombie. It would be like really scary, But if we're haunted by a ghost, I'm fucked. There's nothing you can do. You have no defense against that. You don't know what's going on.
No, but this is the other thing. There is only one ghost, and there are limitations, and there are prescripted way. You could there. If
not
you're
always.
Being haunted.
Not always.
I know.
Also, Erin just looked really pissed at me when I said ghosts aren't real.
I want to believe you, Ben, but I'm not sure. You haven't listened to this podcast yet.
Yeah. Maybe we should. Yeah, I really, really want to listen to it, and we did totally hijack your
True.
thing. But I really want to
No,
listen.
you didn't.
Okay,
Yeah, I will.
Sure.
I will listen to that ear snack, and we can talk about it next week if I start believing in ghosts by then. But I will say now,
I don't want to
doubt
totally
it.
discount your zombie thing. I'm just they're not as scary.
No, but I'll tell you what it is because I'm thinking about it now. I think of ghosts generally as being one or a small handful of spirits that are trying to fuck with you, right? One way or another. But at least you know kind of where the likely hit spots are, and maybe you could still go to work and be okay. A lot of times people have lives while they're also being haunted. Not always.
That's so true.
But with zombies, not only does civilization collapse, but also you never know when you're gonna run into a zombie ever again for the rest of your life. You can
You're never safe again.
have a moment of peace. Yeah. Really,
yes.
Even if you think you can, even if you think you're someplace safe, you're not. And that's the thing.
Exactly. The zombies themselves aren't even that scary. As you described, you can fight them
it's
off.
The number of them. And the speed at which it does spread. When I think about the realities of living in a zombie apocalypse, I literally would rather die. I would literally be a zombie. I would literally rather be a zombie than try to survive a zombie apocalypse because it's
then there's the whole Shaun of the Dead situations, spoilers when his mom gets bit and starts turning.
Yes.
Fuck.
Right.
I love this conversation. I want to dive in deeper at some other time about this speaks, I think, to our world outlooks and our day-to-day fears in really interesting ways.
Yeah, we should.
That I just love.
We should do a special bonus app where
we should.
Yeah.
For Halloween.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's a great idea. Oh, let's do it. Okay.
Because I love
into the mic.
I love that it's I fear those things, but not as viscerally, right? Mm-hmm. As y'all do. Yeah. So I just want to psychoanalyze each other and ourselves.
Okay.
Coming soon. Special. Way too scared.
Way too scary.
Oh, I have one more thing I want to mention in theme is that additionally along the lines of things where I have to either believe that somebody is lying to me where I feel like they shouldn't be or that they're legitimately being haunted do you know the artist Adam Ellis?
No.
He's a BuzzFeed artist.
Adam Ellis.
Google Adam Ellis and maybe in an image search you'll see some of his cartoons.
Adam Ellis.
That's his name.
Oh, I see his real face and his real cat.
I've seen these before.
Oh, so go to his Twitter and his pinned tweet, I made a storify of all my Dear David threads. Go through that shit.
Okay.
It is terrifying.
Oh, God. Okay. I'm really excited.
All right.
Yeah.
I've been in a spooky mood lately.
Oh, wait. I've read this thread before.
Yeah.
Dear David. Can I also mention... Oh, jeez.
And there's some videos of, shit happening. And his cats are all, crazy. He is being haunted.
Wait, is this real? I thought this was a story he was writing, through Twitter. When I read this before.
I have not heard anything about that. I've not seen... It's either that's, I'm either he's fucking with everybody, or this is really happening to him. I haven't seen anything that indicates that...
I had just assumed
it's something...
Because, people do that on Twitter sometimes. They, do kind of...
Yeah, there was a big one that was in Spanish recently. Did either of you guys follow that one?
Like a ghost story?
I don't read Spanish.
Yes, me neither. And I won't.
¿Por qué? No habla español. senorita.
I'm gonna have to find it because it was
Lo
somebody
siento.
translated the whole thread, and it was good. This guy
I
was on
looked
vacation.
all around to.
Sorry. Go ahead.
What'd you say?
This guy, who is like a writer in some Spanish-speaking country, he went on vacation to some tropical island and just like on his vacation decided to freak out a bunch of people by like starting this Twitter story about being like followed around by someone who looked just like him.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
It was really crazy. I'll have to find it.
I haven't found anything indicating that this is fictitious.
I can't wait to read it. We should end the podcast so I can read it right now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to be spooked this year. I'm like in the perfect mood for being spooked.
I'm excited to decorate my house for Halloween.
Oh, cool. I guess your first Halloween
is this
with
your
it,
first?
Yep.
Awesome.
TBD if the house is haunted. So far,
I was
so
gonna
good.
say, how old is it? The older, the higher probability.
Yeah, it is 1979.
Hey,
That's a
old
common
enough.
misconception, Ben.
Oh, sorry.
It's actually the closer to 1979 a house was built, the more likely it is to be haunted.
Our loyal listeners can't see this, but I'm flicking Hannah off right now. Well, do we have any narwhal facts, or what are normal closers? Homework.
Watch Big
Homework.
Mouth on Netflix.
Big
10
mouth.
episodes.
Oh, hey.
Yes.
Okay, how about
Oh,
this?
hey.
Do you want to end with a very short family inside joke
Sure.
Yes.
that is thematically appropriate?
Yes.
Okay. When Erin and our friend Sarah and I went to Savannah for the first time together,
God.
we created a really easy shorthand because Savannah is supposed to be the most haunted city in the world or the United States or whatever. So we created a really handy shorthand for if you are ever... That's a bad phrase, handy shorthand. I don't like that at all.
The same word repeated.
We created a really quick, easy shorthand for if you ever need to determine how haunted many houses, sequentially might be. So if a house looks like it's definitely haunted, then you can just point at it and look at your friend or cousin and say death haunt. And if it may be a little bit, but not for sure, then you can say Mabe's haunt. And if it's not, then you don't have to say anything about it.
You say not haunt, but I don't think we ever say that. Mabe's haunt. Deaf haunt is it was more commonly used.
Yeah.
Deaf.
Sometimes
deaf.
we would start with deaf haunt and then we would like downgrade to a Mabe's haunt. Like,
We would have a discussion about it.
yeah. That was a good trips we took.
Twas.
So Ben's homework is watch Big Head.
Big Mouth.
Big Mouth. Big Head is a character from Silicon Valley, another good show.
Good show, yeah.
Erin, what's your homework?
Your homework's next, Hannah.
Oh shit. Get this game, it's called Picross Mon. Picross Mon. It's available on app stores near you.
Is it free?
It's free. I have found that it drains my battery a little bit, so be careful about that. But it's very good and cute. I like it.
Just feels good.
It just feels good. Do more puzzles. That's what I say to everybody. That's your homework.
My homework is to
get spooked.
Get spooked. Get the Spooked podcast. They're doing some repeats on the Spooked podcast of previous year's Snap Judgment Spooked episodes, but I would also go to Snap Judgment's website, which I think is snapjudgment.org, and listen to the previous year's Spooked episodes also. And then go to Adam Ellis's Twitter, at Moby_dickhead, and look for the pinned tweet and read that shit and watch the videos and don't sleep.
Just never sleep again.
Just never sleep again.
Oh, can I add a supplementary homework?
Well, yeah, we have to all give our Twitter handles too and stuff, so.
Alright, I'm gonna do my supplementary homework before that. We talked about Lin-Manuel Miranda last week and his work for Puerto Rico, and we mentioned that he was writing a song with like a bunch of other artists on it. That song is coming out October 6th, so it'll be out by the time this podcast is out. And all the proceeds go to helping with hurricane relief in Puerto Rico, so you should all go get it.
Do you know where you can get it?
Probably anywhere you can get music. iTunes, Spotify.
Fuck you, Ben.
That's a legitimate response. Fuck you.
Hey, Ben. Fuck you. And what's your Twitter?
Any Disco
Ben.
Greg.
Erin, what's your Twitter?
At Erin Byrne, and you can follow my lesbian movie reviews on Instagram at lesbian movie reviews.
Yay. Oh, yeah. Do you want to give a movie recommendation or not watch?
Okay, a not watch was one I watched pretty recently called Ghosted on Amazon. It was, man, it would have been a great short film, but they just had too much weird shit in it. So it gets a not watch from me.
All right. Put that on my not watch list. My Twitter is Anthropology. Like anthropology with an H at the beginning, but anthropology like the study of people, not the store. And our podcast Twitter is Too Broad Pod, TOO Broad Pod. And I picked pod at the end because we're like a pod of people. Like we're all like peas in a pod.
We're like a pod of narwhals.
That's right. It means nothing else.
And also, if you want to tell us about your favorite spooky Halloween thing, or your favorite lesbian movie, or your favorite puzzle game, or whatever Ben talked about, your favorite Netflix show, you can email us at waytoobroad@gmail.com. And we'll probably definitely read your email.
If you email us at this point in our podcast life, we will definitely read your email on the podcast.
Unless you're my dad, but that's...
Oh, man. He's like our number one emailer, man.
I know.
Now he's never going to email us again.
Fuck you, Dad.
Explained it to him.
Can we put a poll on let's put a poll on Twitter. What's scarier, zombies or ghosts?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. I'll do that right now. Okay. And also, like, if you are listening to this and you haven't and you are enjoying yourself, then please leave us a review and subscribe and tell your friends about us. And that's
do it.
A nice thing you could do.
That's a nice. It just feels good.
It just feels good. It feels good. I've been leaving a bunch of podcast reviews.
Because now you know what it means.
Yeah. Every time that I'm listening to a podcast and they ask me to leave a review, now I go leave one. Because I know
so
it's
nice.
like... Yeah. I'm trying to increase that podcast karma.
Do you leave negative reviews if you don't like it?
Why would I be listening to it if I didn't like it?
Well, see everybody later, next week.
Yeah. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye. Happy Monday, or whenever you're listening. You know, you can listen to it whenever.
Shut up, Tim.
I just assume it comes out and everybody's like stuffing their earphones in their